Hi, and welcome back to 5 Questions Over Coffee. My apologies, we're a little bit late starting this one, and that's due to my inability to understand my own computer, but that's behind us. I have today with me a really lovely guest. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. It's Elaine Godley. Elaine is a multi-award-winning health and well-being mentor who uses DISC as part of her work. If you know DISC, you will understand how that works. She's really been transforming team effectiveness, health, and well-being for professional service firms. And she is a multi-award winner, including a Brainz Magazine top global 500 mentor. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Welcome to the podcast, Elaine.
Thank you, Stuart. Lovely to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
No problem. So let's start by trying to understand who it is you help. What are the people that you are looking to try and help with their health and well-being problems?
Well, with the polls, but that's not doable in marketing terms. So I've narrowed it down to lawyers and accountants in particular, because I know from first hand how difficult it is in the current environment, how stressful their environment is. Any time of year, lawyers and accountants always have problems. So they are my target market these days, although I do help private individuals also.
And of course, I think you were at one stage somebody who understood the law by taking a law degree, didn't you?
I didn't take a law degree, Stuart. I have a master's in, I have an MBA in legal practice from Nottingham Law School, and I have been chief executive of a few firms and organisations, and both in legal and accounting.
So you certainly understand the pressures that such people are under because of your background.
I do indeed, and it's so from the inside out. So I know how to speak legal and accounting speak. We say
somebody needs to be able to speak legally. So tell me, what are the sort of problems you find that people that you help, so top lawyers, top accountants, have got, and how have they tried to help themselves before they seek the sort of advice you give?
A lot of them suffer with burnout and overwhelm. They're constantly told, by their employers, we think the world of our team members, and we look after you, and we'll give you this perk and that perk. But very often they're not proactively looking after their team members. They'll provide massages at the desk, or a foot rub or a gym membership or something like that. But that's kind of after the event. A lot of these people who are so dedicated to their work, they've got their head down all the time, they never leave the desk, they're just pressure upon pressure upon pressure, and they get overwhelmed, and their health coat goes. So my aspect these days is merging DISC behavioural profiling, so the behaviour aspect with the psychology and the health results. So that's how I've ended up kind of blending the two together.
And can you describe that to us? What is it you do with DISC to help people to understand that, and how have you applied that within your own within your life as well?
Well, I was running I was managing partner of a local London authority some years ago, and so I finished the project, and then the next month I got a breast cancer diagnosis, and I subsequently had all different versions of cancer, including stage 4. So I trained in nutrition, diet, lifestyle, all that kind of stuff, in addition to using DISC and merging it with DISC. Previously, I've used the DISC model. So DISC, for those who are unaware, it's a model of behavioural profiling, behaviour personality typing. And it's not about putting people in boxes, it's about looking at what leading characteristics are. So, for example, people who run law firms and accounting firms are typically different behavioural types to those who are actually doing the work. And there's often a mismatch in communication. So I've used DISC in terms of helping teams understand one another, helping the bosses understand the team members in every which way. And I've identified patterns. So when somebody is out of alignment, when their DISC behavioural profile pattern for themselves at home is out of alignment with how they're behaving in the workplace, that's a guarantee for health problems. So I can look at somebody's DISC behavioural profile now, and I can tell you what the likelihood is of them being ill, what they're likely to be ill with, if they've reached burnout, if they've exceeded burnout. And of course, I have the health strategies now to I'm not just saying, oh, this person doesn't look very well or whatever. It's an opener for a conversation. So it's not a medical diagnosis or anything fancy like that. But I've got the health strategies with my other aspect of training, where I can help people unravel if they have got difficulties. So it's about being proactive.
That's great. Great. Elaine, is there any advice you can give the audience that will help them to think about how they are proactive about their health and their well-being, including understanding their own behavior?
Well, first of all, looking at how different potentially their behavior is at home from in the workplace. Do they put on a suit, or in some cases people put on a uniform and they behave differently? They put on like a public mask. And a lot of people do this without even realizing they're doing it. So think about what your behavior is like at home, what your behavior is like is at work. Are you building up stresses and strains at work and then going home to the family, or the kicking the dog or whatever you do? So look at how your behavior potentially is changing, and are you asking yourself, are you in alignment? Ideally, what you want to see is who you are is who you are wherever you are. What you see is what you get kind of scenario. But very often that's not what we see. So look at your own behaviour. Look at your health situation. Are you drinking too much? That's a typical one with lawyers in particular, particularly litigators. So are you drinking too much? Are you eating rubbish food? Are you taking exercise? Are you moving at all? Are you sitting at your desk all day? Are you suffering with migraines? Do your joints ache? You just take an inventory of your body, really, and because the answers are all there in the body. The body knows, and the body will tell you when something's wrong. But very often we don't listen.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I'm going to put a link down at the bottom of this page, so that you can see some information about where you can go and read more about Elaine and her fascinating history. So if you have a look at here, which is elainegodley.com, that's Elaine Godley, ELAINE Godley, GODLEY.com. And if you go to the page about_us, you'll see some great information about Elaine, what she does and how she helps people. So Elaine, I hope you don't mind. I shall put that into the show notes so that people can go and have a look at your website and learn a bit more about the sort of thing you do to help people.
Thank you.
So Elaine, is there a particular, you mentioned your cancer diagnosis. Was there a particular book or course or program that set you understanding how your health and well-being could be affected by the food and the things that you do and eat to help you overcome some of those troubles that you mentioned?
There are so many books, it's difficult to know where to start. When you're given a cancer diagnosis, it's a bit scary. Well, it's very scary, particularly when they say stage 4 and you've got less than a year to live, which is what happened to me in 2015. I previously had two other versions. I had 2 different types of breast cancer previously, so I'd already had an inkling of what to do. I support a number of different small charities. I don't support big charities and their marketing budgets and their fancy travel and whatnot. I believe in small charities. And there's one called canceractive.com, and that is an amazing resource. So rather than recommend a book, I recommend this resource because the creator of that site, Chris Wollams, has written a number of books. So any number of his books will tell you what to do and how to get started in the cancer field. Or obviously contact me.
That's Cancer Active.
Yes, canceractive.com. And as I say, there's research articles, there's books, there's all kinds of information on there, which is really, really useful.
Terrific. I shall also make sure that goes into the show notes. Look, Elaine, it's been really interesting hearing about your journey from leading law firms, accounting practices, through to somebody who's now trying to help those people who are doing exactly the same job. And there must be a question that's currently on your mind that I haven't yet actually asked you, which you're itching for me to do. So I'm going to just now throw open to you. What is the question that I should have asked, which I haven't? And then obviously once you've made known what that question is, you'll need to answer it. Otherwise we'll all be left hanging forever, won't we?
Yeah. So I suppose the question might be is, what do I do currently? How, that I've merged all this, the DISC and the behaviour together, how do I actually help people? Which is online. I live in Algarve, as you know, Stuart, so I've got a very nice lifestyle here. So I do everything I do online, which means that my support is cost effective and easy. Nobody needs to leave home. And I've got a number of training programs that I'm in the process of creating, which aren't on any of the websites at the moment, but do contact me. I've got a course coming up on the 12th of March, which is a 10-week program looking at all the areas. There's 10 areas that people get themselves into trouble with. And those 10 areas, we will be going into deep dive discussions on a Sunday evening, starting from March the 12th, from 6 till 8:30. And that's fascinating on how you can reverse serious illness or how you can avoid it.
I think we're going to have to try and promote that one for you, Elaine, because it sounds like that's the sort of thing we know a number of people should be getting involved with. So that's the 12th of March. If you're listening to this after the 12th of March, obviously you can have to catch up, but the 12th of March 2023.
Yes, absolutely. So obviously email me or LinkedIn, Elaine Godley on LinkedIn, and I can send details out.
I shall once again. I'll make sure that that is in the show notes. So that's Elaine at elainegodley.com. I think, if I remember rightly, your email address,
Yeah.
Elaine. So it's Elaine at elainegodley.com. So I shall make sure that's in there. Elaine, thank you so much, and thank you for spending a few minutes with us. I appreciate you breaking away from the lovely life you've got there in Portugal and the dreadful difficulty it must be to sort of tear yourself away from doing something fun and come inside and speak to us on a call like this. Thank you ever so much. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you develop those courses, because I think they'll be a really great resource for us to all understand exactly how to do better with our mental and physical health, to enjoy pushing forward. If you've managed to survive stage 4 cancer for more than a year, you've done remarkably well, haven't you? And I'm sure there are many doctors around the world who are still looking at you and wondering quite how they can copy everything you've been doing. So it's been really great spending some time listening to you and talking to you about this.
Thank you. I did it in 3 months, and that was 8 years ago. So I'm an example.
It can be done. It can be done.
Yeah.
I encourage everybody to find out how by following what Elaine's doing at elainegodley.com. Elaine, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Stuart.